math curriculum is called Go Math. So we're using that for middle school. And we were using that for about a week and a half. We were working on this module about ratios and proportions, percents. And we're at the ending part of the module, so that's how I came up with this lesson. And then all I needed was, I just had to get a menu from somewhere, and the kids came up with the idea for me for Asagio, so I came up with that. And then most of the kids have their own calculators, but I have some available for them if they would like to use them. And other materials are those cards. We made those packets of cards for the kids, and having it all put in a Ziploc, I think, keeps them all together. I just could have paper clipped them, and that would have worked too. Ziploc bags tend to work the best because they go back in the bag, so you know they're all there and you can use them again for the following year. And then we made the worksheet for them to write all their answers on and record their data. So the Go Math curriculum is passed on by the state, so we have to use that. And that is something that it's our first year using it. So we're just kind of going with the flow and trying to figure out how things work. Now that I've kind of figured out how the program works, I've felt a little better about creating my own lessons to branch off of it. So in the beginning, we were just following it step by step and just trying to get the hang of it. And I think now we feel comfortable with the way the process that it goes through, so we can find other lessons just to supplement and make it more enriching for the students. The materials tell you exactly what benchmarks you're covering or standards you're covering, so that's good. You can go back and you know, okay, if I have to do ratios and proportions, I need to do this module. If I have to do fractions, I have to do this module. So it puts it out for you. The Go Math curriculum also has a computer component, so all the materials are available online. So that's good. We can use our Prometheans, and we can show the math books on the board, and then the kids have their own login, so they can go in at home. So no excuse, oh, I forgot my worksheet, because it's always available to them online. That part is good. And they have, at the beginning of each module, they have a little video, like I think it's only like a minute and 30-second video on how the math in that quarter is related to the real world. So that's kind of fun. The kids kind of get a kick out of, oh, Dr. Bob's on again. So that component I like, that they can use it at home. They have a workbook. You know, they don't have a text, so they have a workbook that they get, and I'll just give them a section of it so they don't lose the whole book, and then they're screwed for the whole rest of the quarter or the year. So I like that part of it. We found that the materials don't give the kids enough practice on the basic skills before it just goes straight into word problems. And the word problems is what gives them the most problem. So if they don't even have the basic math part down, they have a really hard time with the word problems. So we found that we've had to give them extra rote or drill and kill type of stuff just to get them ready before they get to the word problems. And a lot of times the word problems are in what's called the independent practice that they're supposed to go off and do on their own. And then in class, the lesson, you didn't really even touch on word problems very much. So we found that we needed to adjust that so that we're doing more of the word problems together before we send them off on their own to try and get those done. It seems like it doesn't allow you to expand too much, which is why we're trying to be creative and find other ways to make it relevant to them. The book tries to make connections to the learning, how the math in that section will relate to the real world. So they have the videos where they show one component, how it relates to the real world. And then they have a section on the careers that are related to it. So the materials try and do it that way, but and then a lot of the word problems, they'll try and relate it to something that the kids could relate to. Sometimes it's difficult for us in Hawaii because they might talk about, like snow or even like certain types of berries and trees. The kids have never seen those types of things. So sometimes we'll change it around and we're like, oh, never mind. This will just be bananas. You guys know what bananas are. So but that's the case with, I think, any material, unless of course it was made in Hawaii, right? But overall, it tries to make the connections, but I found that I myself have to do a lot of the connections. We work together as a team and try and make it more relatable to the kids. So that is one thing we found, that it's not as relatable to the kids, so we have to find ways to make it relatable.